Preview.
Hello YouTube, this is Magma Rhino, and today I'm doing a very extremely in-depth review of the Asus Transformer TF101, whatever you call it. This is going to be my longest video ever. Here's my notes, this page and this page, and it's probably going to take me 1 or 2 minutes for every single thing. So I'm going to get started right away. First of all, this is an Android-powered tablet. It cost me $400, except that was 4 months ago. Now the price has just been reduced to $300. However, it's hard to find it at that price yet. Hopefully you'll be able to find it at that price soon. There's a bunch of accessories you can get, but I'll get into that later. So now I'm just going to show you the box quick. This is the bottom side, other side, top of it, the other side. When you get it, there's these 2 little safety seals that you have to cut. And on the back there's this information, the barcode stuff, whatever, yada yada. So when you first open it, the tablet's right there on top. This film it came in. It's a bit dirty, but don't get discouraged. The tablet is not. This is like how I got it, but it's no big deal really. So I'm going to put that aside for a second. Sorry. Here's the papers that nobody cares about and or reads. Quite honestly, haven't ever looked at these before. So here you got a basic user's manual. Looks extremely detailed. Look at that, a whole 4 or 5 pages. Doesn't matter, nobody's going to read that. Warranty card, keep that just in case. And a little tips and quick start thing. Yada yada yada. Anyway. So this comes in a nice little pouch actually. Next is the charger. You get this little awesome box, which is the plug. It's really compact and it looks nice. It comes with a bunch of little films on it, so you gotta peel them off. I mean, I know it's the charger, but it looks nice, and that says something to me. It says they actually put into an effort. They put effort into things that were small like this. And you'll see, as I go into the Transformer, that they really paid attention to every little detail in this. This charging cable is short, which is, I don't know why they didn't make longer. But here, this is the whole thing folded over. It's probably 3 feet. Total length, so that can be a hassle if you don't have the right setup, but for me it's fine. Let me just check my notes. Right, this is a 15-volt charger. Now what that means is you cannot charge this through USB only, and you cannot charge it through a car charger. It has to be through AC power. I'll explain more about that later, but it is a good thing that they did that, because basically it takes an hour off the charging time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this stuff aside. There is nothing else in the box. Okay. So I'm just going to boot up the Transformer really quick. And as it's booting up, I'll show you all of the stuff on the outside that I'm sure you already know about, but I want this review to be so in-depth that it replaces every other one that you've seen. So here's the tablet itself. Just shut off that light. The screen is very reflective. It's got great viewing angles. Hard to tell at this point. I'll show you again later on. On this side, you have the power button and the volume rocker. Some people complain that these are too close, but I really have never had a problem with that. I have small hands, that might be it. Don't know if you can see that, but the first speaker is right here. The holes are pretty small for it. And the quality is good. Sound is not the best, I'll also demonstrate that later. Here you have another speaker, so it does have the stereo surround sound. Micro USB port. Mini HDMI out, and your microphone port. Along the top there's nothing, and along the bottom there's the 40-pin connector in the middle, and then 2 latches if you get the keyboard dock. On the back, it's got it's blah blah blah. It is plastic, but it's got a nice texture to it. It's like, I know they did it to save money and everything, but it feels nice. It's not like overly tacky, but it's just got a good feel to it. It's kind of like a honeycomb texture. And here's the camera and Asus logo. And now I'm going to get into the user interface part of it, I think. Nope. Good thing I checked my notes. Alright, the size and weight and everything on this. It's really good. It weighs 1.5 pounds, but it doesn't feel like it if you're holding it with 2 hands for some reason. I don't know why. It's also 1/2 inch thick, but as you can see, it's beveled. So here, it's only about 1/4 inch thick. So when you're holding it like this, it feels like it's extremely thin, like it's thinner than the iPad. The only problem with this bevel is when you're holding it with one hand, it does feel sort of heavy just because you can't get as good of a grip on it. Excuse me. But I never actually hold it with one hand. Usually it's on my lap, it's on a table, or if I'm holding it with one hand, I'm holding it vertically like this. And when it's like this, it's fine. Some specs for it. Sorry about that, just bumped the camera. It's an NVIDIA Tegra 2 processor, dual core, 1 GHz each, so total of 2 GHz. Got 1 GB of RAM. The RAM, usually you have about 400 to 500 megabytes free when you're not running any applications, which is very good for multitasking. You also have a 24.4 watt-hour battery. And, yeah, that battery, that'll give you about 6 to 7 hours of use with Wi-Fi and about 30% brightness. If you have the brightness to a minimum, and you have Wi-Fi off, like you're watching movies or stuff like that, still using the screen, it'll last you 8 to 9 hours. With music only, it's like 40 hours, something ridiculous like that. Now I'm going to get into the screen a bit. The wonderful, beautiful, amazing, absolutely stunning screen. I cannot say that enough. It's hard to tell, but the viewing angles are amazing. This is on a camera, of course, and there's reflections. But, like, I can read it perfectly from about this angle. The screen flips are quick, usually. It's not, like, instant like the iPad. You'll notice I compare it to the iPad a lot. That's because the iPad is its main competitor. But it's still very good. It's a 1280 by 800 pixel IPS display. The sensitivity is really, really good. I'm barely touching it now and it's following my finger. I'm actually lifting off the screen a little and that's why it's stuttering. When you first get it, it does have like a strange film on it, but that gets worn off sort of quick. After a few days it'll be gone and the screen will be very smooth like it is now for me. What else do I got here? Alright, now I'm going to get quickly into the specs before I actually go into using the tablet. Startup time is about a minute, as you've seen. Shutdown is about 10 seconds from when you first hold down the button. And startup is from when you first hold down the button too. And charging time is about 3 hours for a full charge from a completely dead battery. So that's where the 15 volts comes in handy, because if you have an iPad, you know it takes a bit longer than that. Now I'm going to get into the user interface. This is the default lock screen. It's just this little dot I have to bring to the outside ring to unlock it. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera. And this is what it looks like in portrait. So it's pretty similar. You can get your own text and put your text here if you'd like to, or you can get that Android 9x9 dot matrix and you can make your own pattern. You can have no lock screen. There's a bunch you can do. I'm going to set this down now because I don't need to show any more of the hardware. Now I'm going to get into the software aspect of it. Changing screens. Keep in mind I just started up, so this is the first time changing. As you can see, it's really smooth. Even going to the pages it hasn't had time to catch yet. So screen transitions are nice, and as you can see, I have tons and tons of apps and widgets and everything all over the place. but it's very smooth. Going vertically, I've noticed it is not as smooth. Like, obviously, I didn't put as much time into using the screen vertically, because quite honestly, nobody uses this vertically. It's not meant to be used vertically. If you had the iPad, there I go with the iPad again, but that's meant to be used more vertically than horizontally, even though I know a bunch of people only use it horizontal, like this. Let me just check my notes quick. I want to make sure I get over everything, so sorry if I pause sometimes. Okay. Now I'm going to get into the user interface, all the buttons on your home screen here. What you got down here is your back button. I can't do anything now, but in general, if you go somewhere and you want to get back to the previous screen, you hit the back button, and it'll bring you right there. So that is a very handy button. If you've used Android before, you know how useful it really is. Here's your home button. It always brings you to the home screen. If you're already at the home screen, it brings you to the center screen. This is the multitasking button. It shows all of your previously used apps and a picture of what you were doing the last time you were at it. So that's really helpful. It works very well. And usually, as far as like the memory goes, the first 5 you see will already be preloaded, so you tap it and it'll go right there. It won't have to load anything. On the right here, you have your like kind of a status area. As you can see, I got email, so it pops up a little email indicator. Also, I have multiple email accounts on here, so it'll say which email it was sent to. You can easily close them out by hitting the X. And then here it also has your Wi-Fi name, your battery percentage. I have a micro SD card, so it'll give me an option to go into the file browser for it. Or, right, or you can safely remove it by touching that thing with the X. Now, if you touch the time or anything on this top area, it'll pop up more settings, where you can easily shut off or turn on airplane mode. Go to your Wi-Fi settings, lock the rotation, change the brightness, shut off notifications, or go to your settings. I'm going to go to settings soon, but first I want to go over the rest of the stuff on this page. Here you got a Google search, which will first search your device. If there's nothing on your device, it'll search the internet. So I have an app called Netflix. As you can see, there's Netflix. It'll also search your contacts and stuff. And if you don't feel like typing, you never actually use this, but you can use the voice search. So I'm going to search something now. What is my favorite color? And here goes the search. There you go. What is my favorite color? Exactly as I said it. So that actually works very well. In case you do like to speak to your tablet, and I don't know, I just find that strange. Anyway, apps on the home screen, if you want to move them, hold down your finger for a sec, slide them around to take them off the home screen, drag them over that remove box. So there's Scudge on my screen. These are called widgets. I'll show you how to get them in a second. But with some of these standard Asus widgets, you hold down your finger, let go, you can actually resize them to pretty much whatever size you want. You could have it take up an entire page if you wanted to. Then click off to end it. As you may have noticed, moving around with these icons, isn't perfectly smooth, but it's close enough to it. Like, who cares, really? You're not going to be moving them that often. Okay, over here, you got your app drawer, you touch apps. First, on the all side, is a list of every single app on your device, including the default built-in ones. My apps are the ones that you've downloaded, the most recent ones are first. So, the very first one I downloaded was Angry Birds, and then the most recent was that one. Also, from here, there's a direct link to the shop. If you hold down something, you can add it quickly to any home page. Now, if you're on any page and you want to get to like the more advanced settings, hold down your finger for a few seconds, brings you up to this. Now here, you can either quickly jump to any page, Or you can add stuff. Here's all your widgets. It shows a little preview of each widget. And I got a bunch of downloaded ones. You'll notice that some apps, when you download them, they'll come with widgets like this that you can use. Some apps, they have some certain shortcuts. Not every app's going to be here. Actually, wait, I think this is every app. I've never actually used this app section, so yeah, that's all the apps in alphabetical order. Wallpapers. Here's the default wallpapers you get. This one comes on it, and then you get all these. You also get some default live wallpapers. Not these beautiful widgets. I'll talk about them later. Actually, or the live things. Asus My Water shows your battery level, the spiral, and the maps. This one's pretty cool. A lot of people with the Asus use it just because it's unique. Nothing else has this. Plus, it keeps the screen smooth when you're changing them. You'll notice some live wallpapers will lag it up a bit. I think I got everything in here. Oh no, more. This is what I was talking about before. Some apps, they have shortcuts to certain sections in them, and you can add this more things. So here's music playlists, bookmarks, contacts, certain scanner radio stations, which I don't even use. I don't know why I have it. Anyway, that's about it for that part of it. Let me just check my notes again. Right, okay, so the last part of user interface is the settings. Up here you got wireless networks. You can do all this stuff. Tethering and portable hotspot, I don't know how this works. I think this is kind of a hint that they're putting 3G on the next model, but I don't know, because when you tether, it has to be, the signal has to come from 3G, which you can't get on this. So I just find that odd. Sounds, you can set the volume, you can set your notification default. I use this one. I know pretty much everyone on YouTube uses this one, but you could use any of these. You can also make it, this is by default turned off. I like it on though, because I like it when I click for it to make that little clicky noise. Here you can do the brightness, auto rotate screen, which should be always checked. Screenshots, that makes it so when you hold down the recent apps key, also known as the multitasking key, it takes a screenshot. Every time it does this, sorry if it's a little blurry, but it'll say screenshot is saved, stay in screenshot mode. And I don't know why it asks you that, because I don't know why you want to just stop taking screenshots, but you should always hit yes for that. And then you can change the timeout. For this one is where you can do the lock screen. Owner info is text on the lock screen. Then you can do some other stuff. Applications, this is a cool one. You can see what is running at the moment. It'll give you your RAM, how much free you have, what's running, what isn't. Storage use will show you how much memory you have. Oops. Not that one, sorry. That's under storage. I'll just show you that quickly. Storage, it shows you how much you're using, what it's being used by, and then it shows you micro SD, how much you're using. Here you can also check battery use. You can see a chart of when GPS is on, Wi-Fi, awake, screen on and charging. Or you touch one of these, it'll tell you its running time. Wi-Fi was on for 7 hours, screen was on for 3 hours, Android operating system and all that, and see how much battery you used. This one is all of your accounts that you have on your device. So I got a bunch of stuff there. Privacy, never actually used that. But this is where you can do the complete reset of your system. In case something weird's happening. You just go here and you hit factory data reset. Accessibility makes it, I think it reads out everything on the screen. But I didn't want to install that because I don't know why. Date and time, you can adjust that, or you can use the system one. And then here's all your information about your tablet. The version number, Wi-Fi version, GPS version, Bluetooth. Here's where you can check for updates. You can manually check, or I believe once a day it checks for you And if there is an update, it'll put a notification right on this bottom status bar, and it'll let you know about it. Okay, so that's it for the settings. What I'm going to do now is get into its connections. It's Bluetooth, wireless, or not wireless, Wi-Fi, GPS, and then other test stuff. So Wi-Fi connection, I've noticed, is extremely well. It's extremely good. Basically, I've used my iPod Touch right next to it, and it would have like minimal connection, while this thing has 3 out of the 4 bars. So it does get great connection. The Wi-Fi, like download speed over Wi-Fi, is really good too. I'll have a speed test somewhere. There it is. So this is the speed test. I have optimum, whatchamacallit. So it varies a lot for me per day, but as you can see here, it's getting 1.1, 1.2 megabytes download speed, which is ridiculously good for a wireless connection. Now it's just going to do the upload speed. Sorry, I had a text I had to respond to. Now it's going to do that upload speed, blah, blah, blah. It's still pretty decent at 260 megabytes, not 260 megabytes, 260 kilobytes a second. Also, with this, one of the most recent updates, for apps not optimized for a tablet, there's a little button here, it's like 4 arrows. You touch that and you can change how it's displayed. So stretch to fill screen usually works the best, but sometimes it's like this, it's a small box, so that's when you have to use the zoom to fill screen. And then it usually fixes it, it scales everything up. Let me zoom back in. A little too much there, sorry. Now is a multi-touch test. I didn't actually have time to put this on my home screen yet. But so there's 1 finger, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So all 10 work. It tracks all 10 very well. It's kind of hard for me to do this while I'm recording, but as you can see, it's tracking them all extremely well, even though it's only 5 there. So that's pretty much it. So it does actually have 10 finger support, in case you were doubting that for some reason. GPS test. Where is that GPS test? Dum 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 dum. Okay, anyway, all apps are organized alphabetically, so in case you can't find something, you can go there. This will probably take too long to connect. Oh, I'm not going to stay on it forever if it doesn't find a connection, because I am inside. And no, it isn't going to find a connection for me. But I will say that outside, it usually takes about 10 seconds to connect. So that works very, very well, even for a tablet GPS unit. Alright, that's it for the test. Now I'm going to go on to some core apps that are built into this. First off is the email widget. I'm just going to change my inbox. So, nope. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you one of my other YouTube account emails, because I didn't want to show you all my personal ones. This is basically how it's laid out here. You have all your foldery areas here, all your emails here, refresh, send a new message, account settings. When you touch on one, it shows up here. Whoops. And here you can scroll through the rest, quickly change in between. For some reason, by default, it doesn't show pictures, so you have to touch that box. It's not really a big deal, but I don't know, it's just kind of strange why it wouldn't do that, and I couldn't find an option to make it always do that. Here you can forward it, reply with a copy, or favorite it. So that's about it for that. YouTube application. This is a decent application. You can't do everything you should be able to do with it, but it still works. Here you get a kind of a nice wall view of all of the recent videos from your subscribers, not your subscribers, people you have subscribed to. So here, it's just kind of cool looking. Here you can check out your channel, all your videos, your subscribers, your uploaded amount, people you are subscribed to, and then your favorite videos and your playlists. That's about it. You can also browse, and you can upload right from there. You can just upload a video from your gallery or file browser. What's next? Music. The music app, by default, it has this nice little widget where you can play, skip to the next track, or go back. Also, while you're playing music, it comes up with a thing on here where you can change it, or you can stop it completely and close it out, and that'll shut down the process in the background. Here I'm going to show you how loud the volume is for music. Keep in mind that everything else is a little quieter than music. So I mean, as you can tell, that it is pretty loud when you're playing music on it, but videos are a lot quieter than that. So navigation through here is a little bit strange. Up here you can choose where you want to look. So artist, you can go by song, or you can make a playlist. And when one's playing, let me just find a good one. This is what it looks like. You can turn on shuffle or repeat. You can search for a song, and you can add it to a playlist more by that artist. All of that good stuff. A little bug I've noticed is for some reason this time flashes. I don't know if it's supposed to. I guess it is supposed to. Here you can just do the same options as up there. But the one big problem that people have with this is when you're playing music and you lock the screen like you're listening through headphones, it won't actually play the next song until you wake it up again. So if you do want to listen to it, then you have to download your own music widget. There's a bunch of them in the App Store. You can set it so whenever you play music, it plays it through that, and then everything's fine. If you want to watch movies, another strange thing, you have to go into your gallery. So here, I made a folder called Movies, and I got all my movies on here. So here's a video. Oh, this is Batman. So I'm going to turn up the volume on this, and you can see how it is.
Look, give us the money, and we'll talk about making a deal.
Money is the only reason I'm still alive.
So this is DVD file resolution 720 by 480, something along those lines. The audio, it's decent. It's not extremely loud. Could be louder, but you can always just listen through headphones, and that's fine. What do I have next? Well, there's this built-in thing called Movie Studio, which is where you can basically make your own montage-y things. You can add music, photos, videos, add transitions, but you can't trim the length for some reason. I don't know what they were thinking. You cannot trim the length of the video. In general, if you want to get options about something, hold down your finger on it. It won't always work, but when in doubt in Android, that's what you do. Also, this is a voice recorder I downloaded. There is a default built-in one. I found a lot of use out of that, actually. Here is the internet browser. I'm just going to show you some of the Flash content, stuff like that. So, let me just go into my channel, since that's pretty much the most Flash and picture loaded page on the site is somebody's channel. So just give it a second to load. Oh, sorry about that. So as you can see, the Flash, it is pretty smooth. It's definitely not a problem if you just use it like occasionally. I do sometimes just watch videos on YouTube like this. I'll go full screen, and the quality is actually pretty good. Just wait for it to buffer. Now this problem right here, where it just gets frozen on a frame, It's because it went to full normal HD. That is a problem with the 3.2.1 update. It's not a problem with the tablet. So if you do have it already, first of all, don't know why you're watching this. Second of all, don't update it to 3.2.1 because it screws up when it goes to HD. Before it was just laggy, now it doesn't work at all. Let me see what else I gotta do. That's pretty much it for the browser. Here you got all your find on page, share page, settings, downloads, stuff like that. You can save the page, search on the page, or no, that's search the web. Or you can go to your bookmarks, which also is your history. Refresh, go back, go forwards, add a tab, delete a tab, blah blah blah. You pretty much get the idea. The internet browser on this is really, really good. Also, I forgot to show you, there's a fast scroller on the right side. So if you start to scroll a little, you can use this and just instantly scroll to any point on the page. Also, zooming is very, very smooth, even with this flash content on the page. So as you can see, it's very, 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 very good. And it's a great built-in browser. Next, I have the Android market. Now this is a slightly modified version of the Android market, which is designed for Android tablets. I'll just give it a second to load. So here on the top you just get the popular apps. You can click on them to go to the app page for it. You can buy it. When you go to buy something for the first time, it's going to give you options for all this information because you have to pay for it like through a credit card. So I'll just go like Google checkout. Once you put it in once though, it'll remember your information. You can just buy anything pretty quickly. And the other thing, you can just tap on the thing here to install it, or you can actually go to the page and hit download. Last thing is the file browser, and actually the downloads. File browser is pretty cool because you can go through all of the system files. Removable is where your micro SD is. SD card is internal memory. Hit this button to go like up a level, and you can copy and paste these files by checking them, and after you have something copied, there'll be a little paste thing up here so you can go like here, whatever, and paste it. So that works well. Downloads also, you can download whatever you want onto your tablet, and I've downloaded a lot of apps and stuff just because I wanted to try them out and I forgot to delete them. So that's pretty cool, having the freedom to download whatever you want on here and to not have to worry about it. Like, you can download PDFs, you can download videos and anything from the internet. This is the camera app. I can actually show you it very well. You can do camera or video. You can flip the camera to use the front camera. Auto white balance, color effects, and settings. Video camera is pretty similar. The auto balance, the effects. Here you have quality. And then time-lapse if you want to do a time-lapse. Here you can jump right to your recent videos you've taken on your tablet. And if you're in camera mode, you can jump right to your recent pictures you've taken. The camera resolution on the back is 5 megapixels, front is 1.3. And for recording, it does 1280 by 720 HD video at 30 frames a second for both cameras. Quality is pretty good. It is a little bit washed out, but it's nothing to worry about. Now, some cool built-in apps is one called Layer, which I'm not actually going to show you, but basically, if you're in the city and you have Wi-Fi, it's cool because you can hold it up, point at a building, it'll give you a 3D like overview of the building and give you information about it. And there's a bunch of other stuff you can do that's really, really cool. Also, there's something called My Cloud. This is where it basically uses Splashtop Streamer, where you can connect to any PC as long as you have the thing downloaded on here. You like sync them up, and see, now I'm controlling my laptop. So I mean, it's not like the smoothest, and it's not the easiest to use because you do have to tap to use the mouse. You can't actually like scroll around with the mouse. and there's not many settings for it to fix that, but oh well. My content, this is what it basically says, all of your content. I believe you can store stuff on the online storage thing from here. Sorry about that, my camera battery just died. And that was a while ago, so I forget what I just said. But anyway, the next built-in app is Polaris Office. This basically acts like the Microsoft Word Publisher, not Word Publisher, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint trio. So here, it's called Document, Spreadsheet, and Presentation. It actually saves them as Word files, so you can pull them up on a computer if you have I'm pretty sure everyone has Word and Publisher and all that. And you can take files from your computer, put them on here, and then open them up and edit them. So, it's pretty basic. Normally, when you want to highlight stuff, you press and hold. But in this, that actually doesn't work. You have to double tap for some reason. I don't know why they would do that. It's just kind of confusing. But you get used to it. You can change the text color. You can underline it. Bold. I don't know what else you can do. Change the background color. Strike through. Superscript. Subscripts. Indents. Make spacings. Change like the justified or not. I think this does this does like full screen view where your typing takes the whole page. This has the border, which I actually prefer more. All that stuff. So then you can save it as whatever you want to call it to wherever you want to save it to. And then there's also Spreadsheet, which is Excel. Same thing, you get your formula kind of stuff here too. I don't know what that is. Oh, this is the formulas. This is if you want to make a column a certain thing, like dates or times or percents. It'll automatically add that, so I can like this one currency. I mean, as you can see, there's tons of options you can do here. You can really do whatever you'd want to do in like Word or Excel or a normal computer document. So it's very handy to have these three things built in completely for free. Last one's PowerPoint. You can choose your slide layout. I don't think you can see that on the video, but it's like this one's blank, this one's 2 equal size boxes, one on the top, 2 take up the whole page, split into 3, and then 1 full page. And basically, for all these, you can add pictures from anything. You can add tables, make it however big you want. I think you can actually do custom sizes. Yeah, you can. So you can make it as big or as small as you'd like. So, Polaris Office is a very, very amazing thing to have built in completely for free. Alright, now I'm going to get on to recommended apps. And these apps are basically ones that aren't built in, but I feel like they should be. Just because they're necessities, pretty much. First one here is... Where'd it go? I just saw it. Here, antivirus free. Well, basically, going into it's nothing, but what it does is it scans anything you install for its database. Sorry. It scans anything you install and checks it with its database to see if it has any malicious software. So, if it does, it'll stop the install and it'll erase it for you. Or it'll give you an option. So that's good if you do a lot of downloading stuff off the internet like I do. Next is Netflix. Now, at the moment, you can't actually get it from the marketplace. Like here, it'll say new applications found. It'll go to it, hit download. Oh, why is it Aquapets? Didn't load yet. Okay. Just give it a second to load. So here, if you go to update, it brings you my app, says it can't find it. That's because it hasn't actually been officially made compatible for the Transformer. So if you want to know how to do that, I'm going to put an annotation right there. You can go to my video and see how to get that. But I'm just going to do some playback so you can see the quality. Now when it first starts playing, that's odd. When it first starts playing, as you can see, the quality is pretty pixelated. But after about 10 seconds, the quality picks up. It's not So about now you'll see the quality's better. Quality, it is not HD. I'm guessing it's for these, like the full screen ones, 640 by 480 and 720 by 480 for widescreen movies. So it's decent streaming quality. Next one, Juice Defender. Don't know where I didn't put it anywhere. I'm not going to go into Juice Defender much. Basically what it does is it controls certain aspects to save the battery life, and it doesn't affect what you're doing. So it's pretty cool. They have a beta version, which is what I got, which is free. And it's actually all the features of the ultimate version, but the ultimate version costs $5. So definitely go and get the beta one. Facebook is an obvious no-brainer. Before it wasn't compatible with the Transformer, now it is. Not going to go into that, that's my personal stuff. Also Skype, that's a good one to get. Now you can get video calling on Skype. Also not going to go on that because that has personal names and stuff. But you can do video chatting, that works pretty well. Google Finance. Now this is one of the many Google things that I have. And actually these widgets here are part of the Finance. When you download it, you get those widgets that you can add. Where is it? There it is. So you can add as many, they call them tickers, as you want, and that just keeps track of stocks. So I get Sirius, Google, and Microsoft, and then after you add them there, when you add the widget, it'll be like which one you want to add, and you pick which one you want. You can have as many of these as you want. I just picked the NASDAQ and my stock that I own. Next one is Beautiful Widgets. That is where I got this clock one. The default, let me just show you what the default weather one looks like. It's this. So I mean, this one's pretty cool. It doesn't give you much information. So the reason Beautiful Widgets is $3. But the reason I got this is because if you tap on the time, it goes to your alarms. If you tap on the date, it'll go to your calendar. And if you tap on the symbol or the weather, it'll go to this more in-depth weather page. So that's pretty awesome. And then you can set where you want it to go to when you hit. This bar, I have it set to go to my weather.com whatever thingy, because the website that it by default it goes to is just junk. It's like AccuWeather, except it's the mobile version, so it's pretty annoying. What else do I got? Right, the final app that I would most highly recommend if you don't mind feeling different is ADW Launcher EX. Where is that little app? Here it is, ADW Launcher EX. This is a new user interface that you can download. As you can see, it's very different. You can actually change the screen transition. You can change the speed. You can change the bounce. You can change what gestures do. You can add this dock. This dock is infinite. You can add folders. Scrolling is a lot smoother, and it is actually more responsive. Here's a list of all the stuff you can change. You can do preset configurations. You can change the user interface, what the icons look like. You can change what the dock looks like, what the screen looks like, how big the screen is. You can change where the trash can is. You can change the hidden dock bar, which is actually, the hidden dock bar is, oh right, when you first download that and hit the home button, it'll give you an option of if you want to use ADW launcher or if you want to use the default launcher. So if you want to use ADW, you can select that. If you accidentally hit the home button, this is how you change it. You go into your settings, go to applications, manage applications, hit all, go to launcher, JKL, can't spell very well, and you hit clear defaults. And this will clear any of the default settings that you set for it. And this works for any app. So now when you hit the home button, this is what it asks you. I'm not going to do the always pick this yet because I'm going to go back later. But anyway, so back to the settings. Yeah, so you can change all that stuff. You can add themes and change what the icons look like. You can change what the animations are, what gestures do. System preferences, you can change what the catch is if you want it to be smoother. You can back up your settings, you can save it. You can actually add pages and delete pages, and you can quickly swap. Like if I want to swap these two pages, you hit this button, and there you go. Those two pages just swapped, and you can swap them back. So this app is, well, it's not even an app, it's a user interface. It's just amazing. Honestly, I couldn't imagine what my tablet would be like without this app, because it just really opens up the floor to really make it feel like a fully customizable Android device. Only downside to this, like the only one I found, so when you hold to add stuff, it gives you this thing instead of the nice full screen menu thing, and the widgets doesn't show you the previews. But really, that's a tiny price to pay for all the benefits you get from this. Like especially the infinite dock bar, that's pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the default, just because that's what you get with it. I don't want to be like advertising the app instead of the actual device. I'm not advertising, don't get me wrong. I just love this tablet so much that I really feel like I should advertise for it. Alright, now I'm going to get into accessories for it. Let me just turn on my light, zoom out a little. This here is a little folio case I got off eBay for 15 bucks. Now you can get them for just about $8. They're very great. Only problem is these holes didn't line up, so I had to cut this one bigger, as you can see. Kind of came out ugly. And it always slipped out the bottom, so I got some Velcro, stuck it in here, so now it stays tight and doesn't slip out. So I'm going to put this in here real quick. Oh, right, I forgot to mention that before about the screen. There is there is a slight light bleed issue, but it's barely noticeable. It's nothing to worry about. So here, this comes with a built-in stand. There's like the little pouch in the back, so you can have it on a keyboard, like a slight 30-degree angle. Or if you flip this and flip it upside down, it's a nice angle for watching movies while you're sitting down. So this is a really great, highly recommended accessory to get. You can get a higher quality one for a little more money, but I would definitely recommend getting something along these lines. Another downside to this, the magnets here, they screw up the internal compass, so you can't really use it while you have, if you're like using GPS or the maps or anything. What else? The dock. The dock is a major part of this tablet. It's basically what sets this tablet apart from all the others, other than like the flawless user interface and the amazing screen and all the other great battery life and features. But the dock, it nearly doubles the battery life. It is another 24.4 watt-hour battery, so it should give you about 15 hours of normal use with Wi-Fi. I'd say 16 or 17 without like watching movies and stuff, which is unheard of in the world of anything, really. I mean, if you get 15 hours of usage time, that's just ridiculously good, and I don't really know. It also gives you 2 full-sized USB ports, which this tablet's lacking, unfortunately, and a full-sized SD card slot, and it gives you a 92% size keyboard. And from what I've read, it is a little bit difficult to get used to, because the keys are like scrunched closer together. And the right shift bar is tiny, but I never use it, so I don't care. But I mean, other than that, it's great. You can get it for about $120 now if you find a good place. So I would also recommend getting that, even though I don't have it. But I will be getting that soon, and I'll be reviewing it and all that. So I could check that out in a later time. The new things that they just came out with are those, I think I talked about them before, I forget, I'm losing it. The little boxes that you plug into the 40-pin connector on the bottom, and it makes it either a USB port or an SD card slot. And that's great if you feel like just having the tablet, spending an extra 30 bucks, and now you can have a USB host on your tablet. Also, this isn't really an accessory, but the micro SD card slot, I didn't talk much about that yet. Here, It's very, very useful. I would recommend, if you want a 32 gigabyte, do what I did, get the 16 and then a 16 gigabyte class 10 micro SD. Class 10 means it can write at 10 megabytes a second, which is as fast as the internal memory. So it's pretty much like a flawless conversion to a 32 gigabyte, and it only costs $30 more instead of $100 more. When there's the SD card in, it juts out a very tiny bit, like a millimeter, if even. So you don't have to worry about that. That's just so you can get it out if you have to. It's like a spring-loaded thing, so you push in, it comes out. Push in, stays in, whatever. That's how all of them are. Updates for this, they come out really quick. I'd say the only thing that beats this in update times is the Motorola Zoom. I don't know. Motorola is a huge company, though, so I mean, I wouldn't expect Asus to beat them. However, Asus does usually beat like Samsung and all the other companies to getting the updates out quickest after Google announces them. So like 3.2.1, I don't know exactly what the order was, but I know Asus was one of the fastest ones to get it. And that's unfortunate because it's terrible and I wish I knew more about it before, because I want to downgrade. But that's Google's fault, not Asus, so don't yell at them. Also, I forgot to mention this, but Asus has a skin on this. Like, normally, if you have honeycomb, it's all, like, Tronish and blue, 3D, futuristic-y, and it's, like, it's just kind of ugly. So what they did is they just made it nice and white here. Just normal white icons. This is just a normal blue time with the status icon thingies. And I think it looks really nice. I'm glad they did that. Overall, if you're going to compare this to the iPad, because most people are stuck between this and the iPad, go with this. There's really no question anymore. It's now $200 less than the iPad. Yes, it's a little bit thicker and heavier, but it's worth it. It feels thinner when you're holding it. You can expand the memory. You can get the keyboard dock. It's got the same battery life, almost. It's got mini HDMI out. It's just got so many features that the iPad doesn't have that it kind of makes up for the slight lag of scrolling, and it's not like perfectly flawless, I know that. But it's Android, you're not expecting it to be. The way I think of it is Android, you get the full list of features, but some of them, if you use them with each other, they might slow things down, whereas Apple, you get to pick like 3, and they just choose everything else so that it can't possibly make any bugs or anything. So, finally, the bottom line after like a 45-minute video. Would I recommend this? And the answer, as you can see right here, hell yes I would. If anybody asked me if they should get this tablet, I would just say yes right away. Like, you don't need a reason for it. It's $300. It's got a 1280 by 800 IPS screen, great viewing angles. It's got a 7 to 8 hour battery life. It's got a dock you can buy. I know it's no USB port, but you can get the little adapter thing for $30, and you can get a micro SD card for $30, and there, now it's a 32 gigabyte with an SD card slot, and it's still, what, like $250 less than the iPad? And scrolling screens is actually pretty smooth, like even with this live wallpaper. But with the ADW launcher, it's even better. I don't know where that is. I want to go back to it. Some things don't show up on the multitasking, but still, this is better multitasking than the iPad, because the iPad, it's the icons, so it's like you'd see all these icons, but what were you doing in them? You might not remember. With this, it shows you a picture of the last thing you did. So you're in the market, I was looking at a Netflix app. You can go right to it. It has to load a little because it's older, but if I were to go to this, it would load up right away. There you go. I'm sure even the calendar is still loaded. Yep. And, oops, I didn't mean to hit that, but oh well. Anyway, bottom line, yes, I would recommend this pretty much no matter what. Even like the build quality, it's great. It's if you like start squeezing it and twisting it, twisting's fine. It's very sturdy. But like certain spots, if you squeeze a tiny bit, it'll give a little, but who cares really? Like, I just don't get why people would care about that. It's an amazing piece of technology, and who cares if... Oh, thanks for the message. Oh, sorry. Trying to take this out. Anyway, like, so it's a little thick. It's a tiny bit on the heavy side, but it doesn't feel that way when you're holding it. So really, who cares what the specs say? So, if you're looking to get this, which is probably why you just spent the last 15 minutes watching this video, yes, you should get it. There shouldn't be a doubt in your mind that you should get this. Unless, of course, you're waiting for the Transformer 2, which, I'll just say this quick, it's rumored to have a 4-core processor, the new NVIDIA Tegra processor thingy-mabobber. But nobody really knows yet. It's supposed to have the same battery life, yada yada. Anyway, if you want to buy a tablet now, and you don't want to spend $500 for an iPad, or even if you do, save your money and get this. And I can't say it enough, because you should get this, and you should get it now, because it's so much fun to play with, and it's just so cool to say you have a tablet. And, like, even one of my brother's friends, he saw this, and he was like, it's an iPad, and it was like, no, it's an Android tablet, and he's like, ew, that's gross. And then he started using it, and after 5 minutes, he's like, wow, I'd much rather have this than an iPad. So, bottom line, again, yes, you should get it. If you're thinking about it, get it. That's about it. So if you are still watching, I'd like to thank you very much for sticking through this very, 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 very long, in-depth video review of the Asus Transformer. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Show your support, subscribe, whatever you want to do to help. I'd be very grateful for it. So that's it. Thanks again for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon. No, I'm just kidding. That's kind of creepy. Hopefully you'll watch one of my videos again soon. Alright, thanks again for watching.